welcome back to That Fiction Life. As you can see from the title, we're talking about Twilight today, which is one of my favourite series till this day, and no matter what anyone says about it, I will always bow down to Stephanie Meyer for getting me into obsessive reading, because even though I was always a reader, I had never been involved in any kind of fandoms because I read Harry Potter a lot later than everyone else, so I did everything backwards. It was such a big part of my teens that I think I will always look back on that time with such nostalgia. So today I have a very special video dedicated to the series, as we are doing an unboxing as well as a Q&A. This is now the second video in my Let's Talk About series, where I pick a book series, a franchise, where I answer questions to do with that series or franchise. If you're interested in the Buffy video, I'll link that below as well. If you watch Buffy, I highly recommend. So I reached out to you guys on various social media platforms and asked you for some questions that I can answer about the series. But before we get into those, I have the most exciting unboxing for you today. Some of you may know that it's the 10th anniversary of Twilight this year, and this is the 10th anniversary of the movie, because we already did have a 10th anniversary of the book, and there was a special publication for that, which I've not read, but here it is. And so of course there is a 10th anniversary box set of all the movies. I just look at it. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this because you know what's in here. It's got DVDs. But apparently the covers are all new, so I'm just gonna get my Jon Snow sword and open this for myself. This might be a bit too violent for YouTube, but I'm over 18, so this is allowed. Step one is to open the first box. Oh, they're clear cases. Hang on, what? Welcome to the best part of the video. On the other side, we have Fetus, Bella and Edward. And these are clear discs. Oh wait, what? It's a book. It's a freaking book. I thought they'd be individual cases, but this is cute as hell because it's a book, and in case you didn't know, I like those. So this does have 11 discs, and the last disc has all the special features, and there's 3 hours of those. I do wish this had the title here so that I can put it with my Twilight books as if it's a book. But if I want to see the title, I have to put it back in the box, which I can't seem to do. So I'm going to read what the special features are, because I think really that's why we're here. So I'm here for the extra new stuff. I'm going to put this aside because I'm incompetent. The Twilight Tour 10 years later, with Catherine Hardwicke and Jackson Rathbone. He played Jasper, in case you were not aware. They revisit the filming locations. There's character breakdowns, Twilight Phenomenon. What is that? And Stephanie Meyer talks about the Twilight saga, this cast interviews and the premiere footage. Oh my god, I'm going to have the most nostalgic viewing party for myself. I'm most excited about the Catherine and Jackson thing though, because I love Jasper and I love Jackson as Jasper, and Catherine Hardwicke is one of my favourite directors. One of my biggest dreams is to visit the Twilight set locations. So I guess this is taking me halfway through that dream so I can watch them, walk around and see where it all happened. Oh, it's gonna be great. So that's what's in the special features, which is what I'm most excited about. Honestly, if I didn't already have this, I would want this for Christmas. So if you know any Twilight fans, this makes a great present because it's also a book. So thank you for all the questions. I'm so excited to dive in. Okay, so the first one is, I think, a key question we have to get out of the way, and that's, are you Team Edward or Team Jacob? I would be totally Team Jacob, and I was Team Jacob for the longest time. But the plot twist is that I was never Team Jacob for Bella. I just wanted Jacob for myself, but I thought that Bella fit with Edward more. And I have this same thing with the Vampire Diaries, where I think Damon is better for Elena, but I would have Stefan for myself. I don't know why this is a recurring theme in my life. So I guess I'm Team Jacob, but for the story purposes of Twilight, I'm Team Edward. And my thoughts on that have remained the same. Favourite vampire ability and the one you would want. I've thought about this before in length, and I would want to read minds. I think Edward has the best ability. That is such a useful skill. The elemental powers would be epic, but I don't see how they will be useful in my everyday life, whereas I think I could use the reading minds thing to my advantage. Why do you think the fandom disliked New Moon so much? I really like New Moon and dislike Eclipse, whereas everyone loved it. Okay, I don't like New Moon either. I don't know if that's a fandom consensus though. I've heard a lot of people hate Eclipse and that's my favourite. I literally have the special edition of Eclipse. It has the spiked edges, it has a bookmark ribbon, so you know, this is my favourite book. Honestly, I think the fandom hate New Moon because the plot of it is absolutely ludicrous. Why the hell did Edward think that it's safer to leave Bella, and then he comes back and says, oh actually no, I can't live without you? And he nearly gets her killed in the process because the Volturi find out about her. If you had just stayed, this all could have been avoided. The reason I like Eclipse though is because it's a very 50-50 kind of situation. We see a lot of Jacob, we see a lot of Edward, we have the newborns, we get to know Jasper more, and the movie was everything. I loved that movie because I think it captured everything that I loved about the book. We had the Bella punching Jacob scene. Midnight Sun. Have you read it on Stephanie's website or the leak that happened or awaiting her to complete and publish? Honestly, where is this book? And that actually is another question. Where's Midnight Sun? I honestly don't know if I need it at this point because it's been so long that I think if I had to read it now, after already getting a gender-swapped Twilight, do we need a third redemption of it? And I did read the passage that was on Stephanie's website, but that was so long ago and she's got other projects now and I'm kind of thinking, I don't really need to read it. We kind of know how Edward would feel about this situation. Honestly, not even awaiting it at this point because I'd rather read some new stuff from Stephanie rather than a retelling of something that already happened. Would love to hear any unpopular opinions you have about the series. I had some casting issues, especially Edward. I think Edward's casting could have been a lot better and I could have imagined so many more actors. I think the Tinkerbell Shining vampires was stupid, but I think that's a general consensus of the fandom that that was dumb. Why did they have to sparkle, you know? Yep. Actually, I think the biggest unpopular opinion that I have is actually I didn't hate Kristen Stewart's portrayal of Bella. And everyone's saying she's boring and dull. Did they read the books? Bella is the most ordinary kind of character that you could have. And I think that's a good thing. Because I think a lot of YA series, you have a main character who's born to do all these epic and legendary things. And Bella was just a normal girl that happened to meet a vampire. And clearly this was just the way Bella was. So I think that's the biggest unpopular opinion that I have. Would you prefer to be a vampire, werewolf or human? Well, not a human. Who would want to be a human in the world with vampires in them? I would be a vampire, of course. There is no question about that. Favourite song from the soundtrack? Oh boy. Those soundtracks are masterpieces. I still listen to them. Actually, the other week, I just listened to the first one on a loop. I mean, they had Muse, they had Linkin Park, Sia, Bruno Mars, just everything. I don't think I have a favourite song because that's pretty much all of them. I did really love the Sia song, My Love. I think that was on the Eclipse soundtrack. Leave Out All the Rest, of course, by Linkin Park was another highlight. In terms of the score though, my absolute favourite piano piece was Jacob's theme, and I was so obsessed with it that I actually taught myself how to play it. If you haven't listened to it, I highly suggest it because it's so calming and gives out so many feels. Which group of vampires would you want to be in? The Volturi, Cullens, Amazons, etc. I wouldn't want to be in the Volturi because I feel like there's a very high chance of death if you're one of them. The Cullens are my favourite literary family, I think. I easily think Twilight could have had more books than 4. Stephanie Meyer created the most intricate backstories for the side characters that I don't think were explored enough. We did get to see Rosalie and Jasper's stories specifically in Eclipse. His time in the war and her whole past with her ex-fiance. But imagine if we had more books in the series that developed those characters and somehow entwined Bella's story into them. We could have had prequels of them all becoming vampires. that would have been epic. I mean, Alice was from an asylum somewhere. Imagine how much depth we could have had. We could have delved into mental health. Then you had the historical aspect of Jasper. We did see to a little bit of an extent in flashback scenes, but I would have loved to have had a whole book about him in the Civil War. So yeah, the Cullens are my favourite, and I'll definitely go live with the Cullens, although the Amazons were hella interesting in Breaking Dawn, and I think were my favourite new characters to have joined the series. If you could play any character, who would you be? I would be Rosalie, so that Emmett could be my mate. Which character did you want developed more, and which Volturi member is your favourite? Okay, so 2 different questions. For the first one, I think this links a little bit to what I just said, because I wanted all of the Cullens to be developed more. I think in the actual series, Rosalie had one of the best character developments, because of course we had her whole relationship with Bella being non-existent at the beginning of the series, and then them becoming really close towards the end. Jacob went through a real roller coaster. We had the imprinting with Renesmee right at the end. If I had to pick one character, I think Alice. I really wish we got to know Alice a lot more and see how her past maybe affects her now. And which Volturi member is your favourite? Completely a villain, but Jane. Those are all the questions I'm going to answer for this video. Thank you so much to everyone that sent them in. Make sure to comment below some of your answers to these questions, so pick your favourite question. I will put links to where you can get the 10th anniversary discs. If you are interested, as I said at the beginning, these would make a really good Christmas gift. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can do so right here on this button, and then my last video is just below that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye!